morning. Just going to talk about setbacks and how to overcome them. This past year, year and a half, year and 3 months has been one major setback for our family. Um, and I just want to talk about how to overcome them. I'm still learning. Uh, I think the minute that we stop learning is the minute we stop living. That's what my dad used to say, and I firmly believe that once we stop learning about things, then that's the minute the minute that we actually stop living. Um, I've had people question about my weight loss. I have lost 65 pounds and I'm down 4 pant sizes. I did have gastric bypass surgery on May 31st, and the main reason for the surgery was to save my esophagus because of the reflux that I've got, um, and the scarring that was on my esophagus. And an added bonus for that surgery is weight loss. But um, I walk every single day. Sometimes whenever I first started walking, it was only about a mile, even a half mile, and furthest I've walked so far is about 10. Um, this morning, Ace and I walked 6.5 miles, and probably Monday of next week, I'll do another long walk. I may add 1 mile to that 10, may make it 11 miles. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day. I've walked 32 days so far, and people, and I've said this, that it takes 21 days to build a habit. But after researching about the 21 days deal, that's actually a myth. There's been a study that's been done that says that, and this is according to behavioral psychology, that it takes between 18 and 254 days to form a new habit. In other words, and if you want to set your expectations appropriately, the truth is that it will probably take you, and me, anywhere from 2 months to 8 months to build a new habit or a new type of behavior into our lives. And so I'm at 33 days now. Today was my 33rd day, so I've walked every day for 33 days. And how do we overcome setbacks? It's not the setback that really defines us. It's how we get up. I saw a really, really cool quote that said, the bigger the setback, the greater the comeback. So the bigger the setback, the greater the comeback. This past year, it has been one setback after another for me and my family. And I'm not going to get into exorbitant detail with that. Excuse me. Let me mute that. And it's just one of those things where how do you deal with the setback? How do you deal with what goes on in our lives? And one of the things that I've always taught, that I would teach my youth group whenever I was a youth pastor from 2008 until 2016, was that we need to focus on what is ahead, not what is behind. And of course, that is so much easier said than done, because that is something, what's in the past has already happened. We can look back at that. We can look back at what's happened. We don't know what is going to happen from second to second, from minute to minute, to hour, from day to day. I don't know what's going to happen at 11:47 in just a few seconds. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen at 5 o'clock this evening, but I know what happened at 6 o'clock yesterday morning. It's easy to look back on those things. Satan wants us to look back on what has already happened. He wants to look back at our failures. He wants to look back at our successes and say that, well, we could have done better. We could have done this better. We could have done that better. It's so easy to look back and see what we could have done better, what we could have done differently. But, we can't change the past. The only thing that we can change is how we adjust to the past and move to the future. Just simply because where we failed. Some people think that even when they've succeeded, that they failed. Sawyer was like that. Sawyer was a perfectionist. He believed that everything had to be a certain way, a certain. I can't even explain it, but everything had to be so certain to him. And if it was not, even if he would go into a baseball game and strike out seven batters, and allow one hit, that one hit is the one thing that he would dwell on. He wouldn't dwell on how well he did on the mound, how well he did at the plate. I remember in one baseball tournament, he hit 4 home runs, but he struck out 3 times. So what do you think he focused on? He focused on the 3 strikeouts. He didn't focus on the 4 home runs. He focused on the 3 strikeouts. He didn't focus on the successes. He focused on what he considered the failures. But life is a game of failure. Baseball is a game of failure. Baseball is the only sport where you can literally go bat for 300, which means you hit 3 out of every 10 pitches and still make it into the Major League Hall of Fame. It's just amazing. There's a video of Sawyer running the football where he breaks, I don't know how many tackles, probably breaks about, I want to say he broke 11 tackles in one run, but he didn't score a touchdown. Well, what did he focus on? He focused on not scoring a touchdown. He ended up being tackled at the 3-yard line, and he focused on that. He didn't focus on the 11 tackles and the great run that he had, a 30, 35, 40-yard run. So how do we overcome setbacks? And the thing that I have is to set practical goals. The word practical means feasible, realistic. Don't set some outlandish goal thinking that you're going to accomplish it. One of my goals is to compete in a Spartan race. And I know that is a huge deal. That is something that I was training for in 2013, and whenever I was in the best physical health of my life, back in the gym running 7-8 miles a day, and then I developed a staph infection in my elbow, and they ended up supposed to be just a little incision like this where they're going to squeeze out all the infection, but it ended up where they did an incision from right here to right there, and I had an open wound in my arm for 6 months, and extremely depressed, and I haven't been back in the gym since, except sporadically, until Sawyer really started motivating me to get back into the gym, and he and I started working out together, and then the setback hit, and April the 11th of 2022, and the realistic, practical goals here for me right now are walk, starting out, baby steps, baby step towards your goals. Don't all of a sudden say, boom, I'm going to compete in a Spartan race within 2 months. That to me, for me, is not feasible. but I'm gonna, I'm gonna join CrossFit Lucille, and I'm gonna start training. I'm gonna, I'm gonna do everything I can to prepare myself for a Spartan race, because it is something that I wanted to do in 2013. It may be next year before I'm able to compete. If that's it, if that's it, then so be it. I have to accept reality. I'm 46 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting, lighter, thankfully. But one thing that we really need to do is just build toward larger goals. And then Paul writes in Philippians 13:12-14, he says, "Not that I have already obtained this, for I am already perfect, but I press on to make it my own, because Christ Jesus has made me his own." Brothers and sisters, I do not consider that I have made it my own, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. So forgetting what is behind and focusing on what is ahead. You think about, just envision in your mind a man plowing with a mule, which I grew up doing. I learned how to do that at a young age. If you don't find something to focus your attention on, and you turn your head to the left or right, and you look backwards at where you have plowed, when you turn around, when you turn around and look ahead, or get to the end of the row, you're going to look back and see that your row was like this, because you kept looking backwards at what you were doing. So one of the things, another setback for me, is that I had enrolled in a university, a PhD program, where Sawyer and I were set to graduate the same year. And we had agreed that we were going to compete in GPA, and we were going to compete in who graduated on time, basically. And when April the 11th of last year hit, I tried twice to get back into the program, and I just could not do it mentally. So I just said, forget it, and I withdrew. And so what I've done here lately is in November, I believe it was November, no, not November. It was the beginning of this year, where I decided where I was going to enroll at Jackson State University and major in history. And not major in history, I've already got a history degree, but get a graduate degree, a master's degree in history. And it's something that I'm going to do on my own, and I'm going to compete against myself. And it's not how hard or how many times we fall down. It's where do we get back up, and what do we do after we get back up. I hope that this really inspires you, in some way. I hope that this helps you in some way. Remember, practical goals. Focus on those baby steps. And remember, it is okay not to be okay. It is okay to fall down. But remember, don't stay down. Get back up. I hope y'all have a great day. And if you like this, if you like the content, hit that subscribe button down there at the bottom. If you haven't already, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And I changed the settings yesterday where you can leave comments. I believe you can anyway. I'm still learning how to use this OBS this software. I thought I was going to do transitions and do slides and stuff like that, but couldn't figure that out. So I'm going to have to just keep playing with it and figure it out, and keep asking people for advice, and keep learning, because again, like I said at the beginning, when you stop learning is the minute we stop living. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will put another video out tomorrow.